Common occurrence.
I will call this meeting to order. Roll call.
Mayor Yanish.
Here.
Councilmember Reese.
Here.
Christensen. Anderson.
Here.
Amman.
Here.
Johnson.
Here.
Dockin.
Here.
Fagerly.
Here.
DeBleek.
Here.
8 present, 1 absent.
Would you all please stand to the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The first item on the agenda is the proposed additions or deletions to the agenda. Are there any? I have one that I'd like to add, and that would be the February 10th, under miscellany, February 10th, the Springstead work session, and at that time, Kevin Halliday, our city clerk, will explain about that. Consent items. What does the city council want to do?
Move to approve.
Second. The motion has been made and seconded to approve the items on the consent. Just a voice. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed say no. Motion carries. There are no items removed from the consent agenda, so we'll go into the consideration of a resolution calling for a public hearing on an ordinance authorizing issuance of hospital revenue notes. Mr. Pensky, are you here to speak about that?
Yes, I am, sir. Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Council. We are requesting that the meeting for the hearing be moved to February 7th. There was a little bit of confusion over the holidays about what the exact calendar was for the issuance of the $3 million of revenue bonds, and subsequently now we have that straight, and so we are requesting that that hearing be on Monday the 7th. I would like to also update the council on the status of the project. The project is going along very well. We are about a week behind, is all due to the weather. And in fact, last Friday was, I believe, the first day that the crews didn't work because of the cold weather. And so we're very pleased about that. And if you've driven over there recently, you can see that the walls and the roof are getting erected, and we're hopefully having most of it enclosed by early February.
Thank you. Is there any questions or discussion? Councilman Anderson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Will you be coming to the Finance Committee next week to talk about this at all, or is it?
I hope to. I hope to make it. I'm double booked right now, but I hope to be able to make both things work.
That would be helpful if you could make that. Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions or discussion?
So, Bill's what we're talking about right now is just setting a public hearing?
Yes.
February 7th.
That's what my understanding. Correct? Yep.
Okay, that would be a resolution.
Yes, sir.
And so the resolution would be to, do I announce the date on that, Kevin?
February 7th, we'll set it at 7:02.
Okay.
So moved, Mr. Mayor.
Second.
That would be a roll call. All those in favor? Or whoops, I'm sorry. Resolution. Roll call.
Councilmember Reese.
Aye.
Anderson.
Aye.
Amman.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Dockin.
Aye.
Fagerly.
Aye.
DeBleek.
Aye.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Thank you, Mr. Fenson. The next is a consideration of a resolution calling for a public hearing on ordinance authorizing issuance of municipal utility revenue bonds. And Mr. Gom, are you here to speak about that?
I sure am. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I guess we're going to be following a very similar schedule to the hospital. We're looking for you to set a public hearing for February 7th again also. And this has to do with financing through the CREB program. It's Clean Renewable Energy Bonds, and it will result in significant interest savings on the money that we've borrowed for the wind turbine project. And so we're working with Springstead also to get these set up. We're looking to go for $1.75 million to replace some of the almost $10 million that we paid, some of which was bonds that we got out before the project, and some of it was our own cash. So we're looking to do that. It would result in, like I mentioned, significant interest savings if we're able to go through with this.
Thank you very much. Any questions or anything for Mr. Gom?
Yeah, I have one question, Mr. Mayor. Thanks for being here. You said substantial savings in interest. What are you looking at? 1%, 2%, 3%? What now is the current?
We won't really know until we go out for the bonds. The CREBs are actually designed to be zero interest bonds, but to be able to sell the bonds, Kathy Allen indicated that there may be, a small interest payment. The average interest that we're paying on the money that we borrowed initially was about 5%. So we're hoping that we're more, like you said, in the 1 or 2% range. And we won't know that for sure yet.
Okay. And as far as the life expectancy of those turbines, you said it might be how long of a bond?
We planned a life expectancy for 20 years. I'm not exactly sure how long these bonds are set up for yet.
Oh, okay.
This all came on pretty quickly. We started working on this, and we talked to bond counsel, and then we realized that there was a time constraint on these because of when the turbines were constructed. So this is all kind of on the go, and I will also be at the Finance Committee meeting on Monday, and we'll have more details then.
Thank you.
May I ask a question?
Yes, sir.
You're running the meeting.
Yeah. What is the, will you have this information at the time of the hearing?
Yes, I should have the information before the hearing.
Okay, that was my question. So we have a resolution. Any other questions, first of all? Thank you, Mr. Gall. Resolution calling for a public hearing on ordinance authorizing issuance of municipal bonds in municipal utility revenue bonds, and that would be for February 7th. Do we set a time for that?
7:03.
7:03.
Quick hearings. I would introduce the resolution, Mr. Mayor.
Second.
A second resolution has been made and seconded. Any further discussion? With that, roll call.
Councilmember Anderson.
Aye.
Amman.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Dockin.
Aye.
Fagerly.
Aye.
DeBleek.
Aye.
Reese.
Aye.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Resolution passes. Hearings have been set. And with this time, we come to the city forum, or the open forum part of our council meeting, and we have one person listed to speak, and that would be Mr. Sullivan.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. I'm John Sullivan, 508 Southeast 13th Street in Willmar. I'm here tonight to speak about the local option sales tax. As you know, I recently wrote a letter to the editor of the West Central Tribune about this subject and had many thanks from citizens for doing so. I don't know if you had any calls or not. At your December 20th, 2010 meeting, Councilman Amman asked for this issue to be brought to a Finance Committee meeting for discussion and possible sunset. Sticking together here. I had expected this to be on the next Finance meeting agenda, but at the December 27, 2010 meeting, it was just not, as it was just listed as a future agenda item. I've been told that a committee chairperson does not seem to have any input as to their committee agenda. It is set by staff. Is this right? Maybe, maybe not. My concern is about what we as the citizens voted on November 2nd, 2004, which was the ballot to give you the okay to add an additional 0.5% sales tax to raise up to $8 million, and it was anticipated to last over 7 years, and it was for $7 million for the industrial park, $300,000 for the Civic Center, $300,000 for buying the land out by the golf course, and $400,000 for trails. So far on that, you spent about a little over $6 million, and over $1 million of it was on the Civic Center. And the ballot didn't say how much on what, so that got nothing to do with it. So, but this tells me that the total cost was estimated at $8 million and would expire upon payment of a bonded indebtedness, estimated to be 7 years. You, the council, decided not to purchase bonds for these projects and went on a cash basis. Therefore, no bonds were sold and no indebtedness occurred. Had you purchased bonds for this $8 million, yes, we would have to carry this out for the full 7 years, and that probably wouldn't have been enough just to pay for the bond, but you didn't do that. Should not the local lot and sales tax then end when the $8 million was collected? I think so, and I believe a lot of your constituents also think so. I'm sure the people who come to Willmar and shop from out of town would also like to see it sunset. There has not been a formal presentation of this tax to either the council or the public since the report ending June 30th, 2010. At that time, the city had already collected $7,758,351.68. That's at the end of June. In local lot and sales taxes with all expenses and interest included. I was able to get figures of which you probably don't have yet, showing the total collections of the local lot and sales tax as of November 30th, 2010, of which was $1,363,145.95. Adding this to the previous 4 years of 6, 7, 8, and 9 gives us a total of $8,586,790.91. And if you estimate the month of December at only $124,000, which is probably a lot higher given December is a pretty big spending month, we'd have a total of approximately $8,710,790.91 plus. I don't know what the interest would be. I learned last week that this issue will not be put on the Finance Committee agenda until March 14th, 2011. This will be almost 90 days since Councilman Almond asked for this to be done. The reason I was given for the delay in having the local lot and sales tax put on the Finance Committee agenda is because staff is wanting to clear the bids for the Western Collector and hopefully retain possession from the FAA of the old airport property. I maintain that the Western Collector is not part of this local lot and sales tax request, as it is estimated that that Western Collector alone will be between $4 and $5 million. Guess you can read into that. And so far they spent on the industrial park $5 million. This was as of June 30th, $5,368,765. As a taxpaying citizen, I recommend sunsetting the local lot and sales tax and give the 90-day legal notice to the state, which is required, that it will be sunset effective June 30th, 2011, which is the earliest that it could be done at this point. That would result in another $500,000 plus collected. If they would have sunsetted in December, it would have run until March 31st. Per the session law 2005, first special session, chapter 3, page 86. Any funds remaining after completion of the project, I'm talking $8 million, listed in the subdivision 2 in retirement or redemption of the bonds, may be placed in the city's general fund. That's a lot of money. with the city looking at another $568,218 being cut from your LGA, being able to put any excess from the $8 million into the general fund would be nice to have and allow for some good excess to carry forward. I ask you to please honor what you asked from us as you got the $8 million in 5 years. I also ask you to thank the citizens of Willmar for giving you this opportunity and the neighboring towns and citizens who use Willmar as a regional shopping destination for their help in making Willmar a better place to live, work, and shop. Thank you for your time and your consideration.
Thank you, John. And I'm sure that the council will consider what you've said here tonight. Anyone else that wishes to speak that was not listed? Now's the time. Okay. With that, we will close the open forum part, and we will have the Community Development Committee report for January 20th from Councilman Dock.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have to confess I walked off without my copy of the agenda, and Councilmember Johnson was kind enough to allow me to use his. We had 3 items actually on our agenda. The first item dealt with public comments. I started by thanking the council for allowing me to be the chair for the next 2 years of the Community Development Committee. I also indicated that I was thankful for all the efforts of Councilmember DeBleek, who served as the chair for at least 10 years. Under public comments, David Herzer appeared before the committee and talked some about the wind generators. I appreciated his comments very much, and I feel that there are others in the community who would come to our council committee meetings, and I will encourage strongly that anybody that wants to come to community development, all they need to do is come and sign in prior to the meeting. If you cannot come, I'd ask you to write a letter to the City of Willmar, attention myself and the Community Development Committee meeting, and we will get back to you. Also, under public comments, I think it's important that we consider strongly this year, probably at our retreat, the filming of all committee meetings at this location. Again, it allows the public to hear what your staff and what your council members have to say, and also listen to other citizens who wish to come and weigh in. This is your government. I think you need to lend your voice to things that we do right and things that we don't do right. I think that's important. And finally, I believe that the election of November 2nd was overwhelmingly a mandate for the city council to do things differently. Number one, we need to do things in a more manageable and harmonious manner. And also, we need to have greater due diligence from our staff on all projects in all committees. And I would ask that be done. Item number 2 was municipal utilities wind turbine, and it was for information only. West Hump of MUC presented a status report on the performance of the wind turbines, and there is an attachment to that. The report was presented at the request of the council, who wished to monitor the ongoing performance of the turbines and make information available to the public. Mr. Hump stated that they were working to update the municipal utilities website to include turbine operation information, and I congratulate them on going in that direction. That's very important. Again, that was for information only. Item number 3 was assignment of Willmar Fabrication Business Subsidy Agreement to new buyer for information only. Steve Rehnquist of the EDC presented information regarding the anticipated acquisition of a portion of Willmar Fabrication by a Canadian company, equipment manufacturing company. Willmar Fabrication has Job Z status relative to tax breaks, and the acquiring company expects that to continue. Staff had anticipated bringing a formal request to the committee for the transfer of the business subsidies, but the timing of the acquisition process did not allow for that at this meeting. As the sale process unfolds, it will be necessary to address a formal request to assign the Job Z agreement/benefits. Mr. Rehnquist stated that Willmar Fabrication currently employs 70 individuals. The new company expects to bring that number to 200 over 2 years. A portion of the current company, approximately 20 jobs, will stay with that company as it spins off to a new Willmar location. There may be an expectation for Job Z benefits at the new location as well. Staff noted that Job Z benefits come at a cost to the taxing jurisdiction, but the lost tax revenues are offset in theory by the financial impacts of increased employment. It was noted that the Job Z program sunsets at the end of 2015. And again, that was for information only. Item 4 was updates. Staff presented updates on a number of development activities, including the sale of the Mills block, a medical clinic development on 19th Avenue Southwest, and church demolition. Item 5, vacant homes, again for information only. Chair Dockin requested that staff compile a list of vacant residents so the committee has an idea of the scope of the problem and can address issues relative to those residences. Again, the concerns I would have would be in case of a fire, that our fire department needs to know about those particular vacant houses as well as our police department. Item 6, there being no further business to come before the committee, the meeting adjourned at 5:30 p.m. Mr. Mayor, I guess if there are questions, you could ask for them.
I would ask for questions if there are any questions from the council on the report on the Community Development Committee. Do we need a motion on that?
If not, I would move to file these minutes.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to file these minutes. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed say no. Motion carries. Announcement of council meeting, committee meeting dates. Councilman Anderson.
Finance Committee will meet Monday the 31st at 4:45.
Councilman Reese.
Public Works, Public Safety will meeting tomorrow night, the 25th, at 4:45. And I would also mention, and I didn't bring my calendar with me, but the bar report is at 6 or 6:30?
6:30.
6:30.
Stormwater Task Force.
Stormwater Task Force.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow night.
Where?
I believe that's in Conference 1 also.
City Office Building.
Yeah.
Councilman Dockin, is there a meeting next week?
I believe so. Mr. Peterson, the date would be?
27th?
Okay. 27th of January.
That's this week. Thursday.
27th of January.
No, that would-
4:45.
That's wrong.
Time
Wrong date, it'd be February 3rd.
February 3rd.
Yep. week early.
Okay, at 4:45.
Yes, sir.
Councilman Ahman?
Labor, January 26th, Wednesday, 4:45, in conference room 1 of the city offices.
Okay, under miscellany, Kevin, would you explain to us about the work session that you had in mind?
Mayor Yanish, members of the council, pursuant to your meeting with Sharon Klum from Springstead, and the focus group that she met with and the department heads, she has assembled that information and would like to now schedule a work session where she can present education, present the desires of people, present her preliminary salary review, and come out with a consensus on a profile for filling this position. She was recommending February 9th and 10th, and we understand the 9th is already closed by another meeting. So we're hoping February 10th, that would be a Thursday, 4:45, we could meet. We don't want to meet if there's 3 or 4 of you that can't make it, but if there's a consensus, we then schedule it and send out a reminder schedule for that time.
I'm sorry, could you repeat the time and date again?
4:45, Thursday, February 10th, and I think we'll do it at conference room 1 at City Office Building. That works with everyone.
Should we take a general consensus here as to who can make it?
Sounds good to me.
I did not bring my calendar, but I believe I'm open at that time on that day.
Do we need a motion?
We do not, sir. I've got enough heads nodding in the right way that we will schedule that.
Okay. Then, that being the gist of the meeting this evening, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second. Motion has been made and seconded to adjourn. We are adjourned.